Welcome to another edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and you are on Diaspora Network Television, aka DNT. Today, we're going to meet yet another special guest. This one is as robust as it comes. But like we always do, we have to do the jangle. And by the way, I needed to make a comment about those pretty ladies in traditional outfit doing their adwa. I'm an Ashanti boy, but I struggle with adwa. I hope you're watching it. I need some help, okay? If you know how to do the adwa thing, I need some help, okay? But we'll be right back to do our jangle. Welcome. Well, for today's jangle, I'll make it very short and brief. You know, they say when you point a finger at somebody, how many fingers are pointing right back at you? 3. And in driving around town, in dealing with fellow Ghanaians, I've seen that this phenomenon it holds true every time. When you meet a Ghanaian, they always point a finger at somebody. The government is doing this. This politician is doing this. But yet, when you look at their own lives, the stuff that they do, they don't look at that. I'll give you a quick example. Recently, we had residents of Medina burn tires, make a whole lot of fuss about why the footbridge is not being fixed. They the NPP government of not continuing what the previous NDC government started. Okay, so after all the noise, the government invested the money and fixed the footbridge, repaired the footbridge. Now it's there. But guess what? Nobody uses it. And so these are examples of why we, the citizen, we don't do what we're supposed to do. But when something comes, we're very quick to point the finger out. So I want you, if you're watching today, always remember, look at your life to make sure that everything that you're doing the right things before you point a finger at somebody. That's the jangle. We'll be back to meet our special guest. Stay tuned.
Are you expecting money from your relations abroad? Have you ever been defrauded of your money remittance? Open an ADB account today. Send your name and your account number to your relations abroad. Ask them to use MoneyGram direct to account service and receive your money in your account in minutes. With MoneyGram direct to account service, there's no PIN code wahala. You can now access your money on all ATMs in Ghana or send it to any mobile money wallet using ADB mobile banking app or shortcode *767#. Visit our branches nationwide to conveniently receive your Western Union, MoneyGram, RIA, Unitylink, Transfast, and Express Money Transfers. Reach us on our Facebook, website, or call our hotline on 0302-210-210 for more information. ADB, truly agri and more.
Welcome back. This is Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and I am elated to be joined in the studio by none other than Nana Agyei Yeboah. Welcome.
Thank you.
Very good. Nana Agyei Yeboah, he carries many hats. Today he didn't bring any of them, but he has many hats. Let's say, former chairman of NPP USA, now leader of a group called NPP USA Ghana Wing. And all that aside, this man here, if you want to go to college, you want to be friends with him because he sits on Student Loans Trust Fund. So if you're watching and you need money for college, you need to be good with him. Welcome, Nana.
Thank you.
Very good, very good. Nana Agyei, boy, you wear many hats. Which of them gives you the most sleep at night and which of them gives you sleepless nights?
Yeah, thank you, Jermaine, for this audience. And I must start to congratulate you for what you've put up.
Thank you.
I would say it's a dream come true. For the longest time, we've been trying. We started from MPP USA, and we make you in charge of communications, and it has actualized to this point.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I wish you all the best.
I appreciate
and I
you.
believe you have a lot of positive contribution to make to Madagascar.
Thank you.
In terms of the many hats, you see, being the chairman of MPP USA for 8 straight years, and before then I was a vice chairman. It was a big position, and the people involved that we needed to deal with.
Egos.
The egos and all that. But we were able to contribute positively to the party, and to large extent, to our victory in 2016. There were some rough times and sometimes some difficulties to maneuver, but we did all that. Even before that time, I was also the executive secretary of Asantuma Council of North America.
Ah, there you go. I forgot about that.
Yes, and
and so here's my thing. Usually today we got into the many hats that you're wearing. I usually start with to be able to wear those many hats. There's got to be something in your life, your childhood, your growing up, that I guess trained you to be able to handle those things. So why don't I take you back to who is Agyei Yeboah?
Thank you. That was it's simple but yet profound, question.
Exactly.
Okay. Nana Agyei Yeboah, I started from humble beginnings. As a matter of fact, I would say I'm a man who brought myself to this level by my own food, stripes.
Self-made. Okay.
Yeah, self-made. In that, I came from, a respectable family, but when I was growing, my father was very old when I was born. So when I got to the point of going to, like after elementary school, my father was not at a point that financially he could support me. So I ended up taking the path of going to the 4-year teacher training college.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I went to your town.
Offensive. There you.
Yeah,
Offensive Training College. Yeah,
Training
Ampame.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
So I came out. I was training as a 4-year teacher. We call it Certificate A.
So during that time, you have to finish Form 5 before you go, or
no?
Oh no. Okay, I take that back. I didn't go that route. So can you explain it for those? If I don't know, these generations certainly don't know.
Yeah. You after elementary school.
Okay.
After elementary school, you have 2 paths. Either you go to secondary school.
Okay.
You can go to secondary school in Form 2 up to. Okay. Or after elementary, when you finish, you can also go to like teacher training college. You can go to technical school and that kind of things. Okay. So I went to teacher training college because at that time we were not fortunate to have Nana Danko Akufo-Addo.
I know, to give you free SHS.
Free SHS, and I couldn't be supported through SHS.
Through SHS, okay.
So I went to teacher training college.
Okay.
But before I came out of 4-year teacher training college, I was able to do my O level.
Okay.
And A level.
Oh, okay.
O level and set A.
Okay.
Okay, so I came out what they call as post-sec. Post-secondary teachers was those who went to secondary school Form 5 and maybe they couldn't make it to 6th form. So they went to teacher training college for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So you had that 4 years
Yes,
done,
4 years,
so you were
and
already ahead.
yes,
Wow.
so I came out ahead
Okay.
as a post-sec teacher, and I did very well with my O levels.
Okay.
Okay, so my principal at Offensive at that time is Amofa.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Still remember those names?
yes.
Wow, that's good.
Because when I was passing out, he advised me strongly to study hard and do the A levels.
Okay.
Okay, so I went out to teach. If I were from the north at that time, maybe I could have gone straight to sixth form. You know,
Why was that?
because they had a free SHS.
The free SHS at the time.
Yeah,
okay.
at the time.
All
But
right.
we didn't.
Okay.
Okay, so I went to teach. So I taught for 2 years. And whilst I was teaching, I did my A levels.
Okay.
So after 2 years, I got my A levels.
Okay.
Okay, and going to my 3rd year, I got admitted to University of Ghana.
Oh, okay. So you're a Legonite.
I'm a Legonite.
You know, there's a big fight here at DNT between the Legonites and the tech people. Which is better?
Which is
Now,
better.
wait, hang on. You were a Kumasi boy, and you came to Legon. So I'm putting you on the spot. KNUST versus Legon.
No, I mean, Legon is the premier university.
And KNUST is?
KNUST came after Legon.
Okay.
Okay.
Into the Chiribanana.
Let's see, but
Okay. All right. Fine. That's a good way to put it. But
So
you've seen instances where the Achiriba becomes the big boy and, you know. But that's not.
On that score, I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
Legon remains the premier university.
Ah, okay. All right. No problem. So what did you do in Legon? What did you study?
I studied English and linguistics.
English and linguistics.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm dumbfounded. You know, I did French in high school, TechSec. And we used to always, you know, at the time, you either did French or Tree. So the French class were held at the same time that the Tree class was held. And for some reason, we always completed, our class finished before the Tree class. And we'll always come back and look at those, you know, when you're young, you're stupid. We look at it and say, now, you guys are this old now that you're learning how to speak your own language. And we used to laugh at them.
Yeah.
But now I look at it like, no, the language that you speak on the street is different from the written version. And so I imagine for someone who is majored in English, I'm sure when you're in the streets and people are speaking, you can just pick you know, mistakes here and there. Do you do that, or is just?
Well, I mean, even with our native tongue, with Tree,
Yeah.
is it like when I'm listening to music,
Yeah.
like Lumba, for instance?
Yeah.
I like Lumba because he's a poet.
Okay.
You see that his choice of words and
Okay.
you know he just don't throw words out.
Yeah.
You know they are pregnant with meaning,
Okay.
and the way he's able to string them together.
Okay.
You see.
So you see, now you're showing off. When you use that pregnant with meaning. Me, when I think of pregnant, I think of a woman. But the term pregnant with meaning, you don't find that normally, you know, in normal conversations. But that's pretty good. All right, so English, you majored in English, and after you finished Legon, then what happened?
After I finished Legon, I went to do my national service at Agyei,
Okay.
you know, college in Kumasi.
Okay.
Then after that, I went to teach in Nigeria.
Okay.
I taught in Nigeria for about 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then from there, because I had a contract,
Okay.
you know, I was.
Did they recruit you from here, or you went on your own?
I went on my own, but I was recruited as an expatriate teacher.
Okay. By whom? That was interesting.
By the Niger State government.
Oh, really?
They had priority areas
Okay.
like science, English, you know, math, that they were giving preference to those teachers.
Okay. So you taught, when you did your national service at Agyei,
Yes.
teaching English, I presume. Okay. And was it soon after your national service that you left, or?
Yeah, after my national service, I
Okay.
left.
Now, this one brings me to this question, because I grew up on the KNUST campus. That's why on the Tech versus Legon, you know where I stand.
Yeah.
But I saw students who were taking care of like kings and queens. These people ate nice breakfast, nice lunch, snack at 4 p.m. and dinner. They were sleeping like two to a room, all on the dime of the government. And some of them, as soon as they finish, bam, they're gone overseas. Do these people ever get to pay back?
Ever to pay back
Yeah.
in terms of
What the government spent on them? Because
Okay.
if the government takes you through all this and then you leave immediately after college, and I know guys who immediately after college, they left. They owe the Ghana government, in my opinion, unless you're looking at it differently.
they do. I mean, but that's what something to bring back. Okay, those who left, and you have the diaspora experience.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it was a brain drain at that point in time,
Right.
but it turns out to be brain gain.
Gain, right.
Because those who left, some of them went to further their education and acquire certain skills that they bringing back to help the country.
Yeah.
But in terms of those who owe, if you mean those who took loans,
No, actually, when I say people who owe, at the time, it was free. I mean,
Yeah.
the university education was free, so I don't think they took loans to go. But I'm saying that if the government spent so much on you and you left, some of them didn't even do their national service,
Okay.
and then they left. Now they live elsewhere, contributing to other countries' development. Don't they owe Ghana something? It may not be in monetary terms, but they do need to give back. What do you think?
certainly they do. Certainly, they owe it to the country to bring back,
Yeah,
what and to give something back to your community.
right. So if from a policy standpoint, how would you go about this? To make sure that, I mean, certainly if they live in another country, you can't force them to do anything, but at least there has to be some type of policy in place that at the very least encourages these people to pay back one way or another. Either adopt a student or whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? Do you think the government should look at policies?
Yeah, but you see, if you're going back to history, you see, Ghana has gone through periods in its development. Okay, there were certain times that the military interventions and a whole lot of things were going on. That like made some people decide to
leave. Right.
Okay. These days, I think the exodus, if I may use that term, is not as
massive
as that. Okay. And in terms of developing world, the chances that people that move from the developing world to the developed world is there, and I think that problem cannot be solved by governmental policy.
Okay.
Okay. Like within this last 3 years, look at how many Ghanaians outside that are coming.
Yeah.
Okay. During the time of President Kufuor, look at how many Ghanaians that came and those who were preparing to come.
Okay.
Okay. So the attraction
is what's going to get them to pay back.
To pay back or to come.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll look at life in Nigeria and what caused our guest Agyei Yeboah to continue his journey from there. This is Diaspora Weekly. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Kofi Upon Ochre, and I bring you NASA on DNT, a program designed to expose corruption and indiscipline in our society and advocate for the punishment of these offenders whose activities impede national development. The National Road Safety Commission indicates that Ghana loses $230 million to road accident. with over 1,600 deaths recorded every year. In 2018, Shraj report indicated that Ghana loses 13.5 billion Ghana cedis to corruption. And United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF has also stated that Ghana loses $290 million to poor sanitation alone. This is not right. So make a date with me, and together let's name and shame the offenders of the law. NASA, see something, say something.
Welcome back. This is Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah. I'm joined by Nana Agyei, Managing Director of Student Loan Trust Fund.
Executive Officer.
Chief Executive Officer. Okay. CEO of Student Loan Trust Fund. Okay. When we left, you were talking about a contract you received to teach for 5 years in Nigeria. How was that?
Well, I signed a contract with originally when I went to Oyo State.
Oyo State, okay.
Yeah, then I got a contract.
Okay.
With the government of Niger State.
Niger State, okay.
Niger State. That was when they were developing where Abuja is. Okay, and it was for 5 years. But to me, in Nigeria, it was a transition.
Okay.
My goal was I wanted to go to U.S., but I didn't have
the means,
the resources, and other things. So it was a transition for me. So when I finished my contract, I didn't. It wasn't meant to stay there, for forever.
Wow. So you flew from Nigeria straight to United States.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you were one of the lucky ones because, well, actually, your story and I are pretty similar. I went through Nigeria too, but from there to Germany before I got to the States. Yeah. So, United States, it's your final destination, and you got the opportunity, and you left.
Yes.
The day you arrived in United States, did you feel a sense of, oh my goodness, this is it? I am not going back to that country, Ghana again. For me, I have to be honest, when I left, it was a Rollins era. That's when we had the Rollins chain. I did not want to come back. I don't know about you. I did not want to come back.
Okay. I wasn't running away from the Rollins chain, but I didn't particularly like, the system of governance at that time. I always felt, like when I got to USA, it was a big sigh of relief. I love the country. I knew that there was a whole lot that I could learn, but I always had at the back of my mind that I'll return back someday. Yeah. Like the Igbos say. Yeah. Agaracha must come back.
That's right.
You see, you have to. I always felt there will be a time.
Right.
But whilst I was there, I enjoyed their system. I enjoy the fact that you could have opportunities. When I went to US, one thing that it was a culture shock. Like if you take one city, the number of universities there, I was like, wow. Yeah. Because at that time, Ghana had only 3 universities.
Yeah.
Cape Coast, and Legon. Okay, so you can, in one city, there are many universities that you can count. So, it's yes, this is a place.
So you settled in Connecticut, or did you live somewhere else? Or?
No, I settled. I landed in New York.
New York, okay.
New York City, but I went to Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, okay. Why Massachusetts?
I had a couple of my nephews there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went there.
That's, Massachusetts is, how here in Ghana, when they talk about the best high schools, you're looking at Central Region.
Yeah.
Massachusetts is it when it comes to education in America, would you say?
Yeah, it is.
And so when MIT and all those schools.
Yeah.
So what's it like when you got there? What was the game plan? I mean, you wanted to go to United States, and you got to United States. So at that point, what was the game plan moving forward?
The game plan is to get settled, further my education,
Okay.
and as you know, when you get there, you need to regularize your stay because that becomes an obstacle.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have your green card, your goals to for educational advancement, it becomes a problem.
Yeah. So you got your green card, and then did you further your education?
Yeah, further my education.
What did you read?
I did masters in education management.
Okay.
And also masters in social work administration.
Okay.
I also have advanced paralegal studies certificate.
Ah, okay. So you have legal background.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Never knew that. So at what point did you decide that you're going to be a part of the NPP? I imagine at the time there were two main political parties, the NDC and NPP. You ended up going through the ranks to become the NPP USA chairman. So why not NDC? Let me put it that way. Why?
I mean, with I'll say I was born into NPP.
Okay.
Okay. My father, growing up, they were all from the UP tradition.
Okay.
Okay. So, growing up, I belong to that tradition.
Okay.
And also, what I experienced in Ghana, okay, and the way NDC became a political party.
Yeah.
I didn't have, good,
It just didn't bear resonance.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look at those, it was very
it didn't resonate with me.
Okay.
Okay, so I believed in, the Buzia Dankwa, Dombo tradition, and I've always been, you see, democracy excited me. That was one of the reasons that I chose to go to
United States.
United States
Okay.
instead of going to Libya or any of those countries.
It's interesting you say that because somebody put a video out. It's a video that has been going around social media quite recently. And the guy is making a very good argument that democracy does not work. Because if democracy worked, when you look at certain people getting elected over certain people, and I'm not going to mention names, but I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. How can you say democracy works?
I don't get.
Okay, the question is, when you look at two people running, candidate one, brilliant, bright, on top of the issues. Candidate two, the exact opposite, doesn't care, curses out everybody, blah. But then the bad candidate wins. How can you, in light of this, tell me that democracy works?
I mean, the basic definition of democracy is government of the people, for the people, by the people.
Right.
Right? It's not, you see, so democracy is majority rule. Okay. So majority choice, by your definition, may be wrong. But that's what majority wants. So
Hillary got the majority vote.
okay.
She's sitting at home.
No, but with Hillary, you're talking about the American
System.
electoral college
Okay.
system. Okay, but essentially, democracy is, the ability to respect what the majority says.
Yes, yes.
So the majority can decide to vote for.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here, I'm playing the devil's advocate. We all know, I mean, you and I grew up under the military intervention era, where just about every day you woke up, there was a new coup d'etat and curfews. I don't think any of these kids have ever dealt with curfew. That at 6 p.m. everybody must be indoors, or else when you step out, there's a military car there that picked you up and nobody saw you again. And so, yes, we all understand that. But I think democracy, like everything else, the world has not managed democracy well. Because think about it. Right now, in Ghana today, let's face it, people pay, recently the parliamentarians were talking about pay for votes. We may not want to talk about it, but it's the reality. If you're running for election, people want you to pay them or give them inducement before they vote for you. So what does that say about democracy?
But I think I would like to go back to your earlier premise. I think the worst form of democracy is better than good dictatorship, if there's anything like that. Okay.
Now, you know, the English speaker just spoke. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, I want you to say here, the worst form of
Democracy.
Say it again. The worst form of democracy.
Yeah, is better
than the best form of dictatorship.
Yeah, dictatorship.
So the worst America can get is still better than the best of the Russian system.
Russian system, or what Saddam Hussein was dishing out to his people.
Interesting. Okay, so now, I mean, that was a digression, but now you were talking about how you got into MPP, right? So democracy excited you.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I was born into the UP tradition. So I've been with MPP all my life.
Okay.
When I went to USA, you know, I always gravitate towards where a group of like-minded people. Okay, so I joined MPP. At that time, it was North America.
Right.
Okay, so I joined it, and I worked through the ranks to become the vice chairman, and then after 4 years, I stood for the chairmanship position, and I won.
And you won. That was the Congress in Washington, D.C.?
That was the Congress in Washington, D.C.
Very good, very good. So now, during your tenure as MPP USA chairman, what were some highlights and some low periods?
I think we including you were part of that, my administration. We were able to achieve a whole lot. We have the MPP, especially the external branches, and talking about MPP USA specifically, we contributed a lot of there was a lot of intellectual input to the mother party. We were fortunate to have people like Professor Kokuya Sari, Dr. Kwesi Prempeh, and a whole host of, you know, heavy duty, you know, intellectuals that contributed to the party intellectually, and we also contributed cash. There was monetary contribution,
right?
And the idea of, you know, after 2012, we sat down and thought about the role or the effect of you know, IT on Ghana's election, and you know, we put certain programs in place that led to Blay and Joe Anoche, what we started off as Inframakese.
Yeah.
Okay, now had a historic role to play in the 2016.
Yeah.
You know,
you guys also brought in OMOV. One member, one vote.
Yes.
It didn't pass, but at least that forced to expand the delegate system from about, what, 2,000 to about 700 and something thousand. So that was massive.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when you look at all these contributions, intellectual, financial, ideas, has the party reciprocated adequately, in your opinion?
I would say that we give credit to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. You know, you and I know that Nana can be described as belonging to MPP USA, literally. You see, he attended all our congresses, and he was always coming around. I mean, in the history of Ghana, he has given more appointments to not only MPP USA, but to external branches. members, more than any government.
Great.
That
Well,
has happened in this country.
good. So appointments are one thing, but the right to vote, the right to be voted for, is an entirely another thing. And so, I mean, the president can give so many appointments to so many people. And like you say, he has done that. But I think for the most Ghanaians out there, how he can, I mean, some will say it has to come from parliament, but he's the leader of a country. And with our current system, where he leans, the wind blows. Do you think that in terms of reciprocating the contributions of the diaspora, and at this point, I can even bring in the 4.7 billion that we brought in 2008 in remittances and all that. Do you think the diaspora as a whole, not MPP USA or any people, but the diaspora as a whole, does Ghana reciprocate the help that we bring in adequately?
Okay, now you brought in it. If you say Ghana,
I know,
okay.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If you say Ghana, I'll say no.
Okay.
If you say President Akufo-Addo, I'll say he's making the strides.
Okay.
Because recently, when we had Ghana Homecoming, summit, he made his stand clear that he was going to work towards, the dual citizenship and the restrictions. He was going to present it to Parliament.
Okay.
And currently, I think ROPA, the implementation of ROPA
It's in the talks.
is moved into second gear.
Okay, very good, very good. I was trying to push you in a direction that, but we will have to take a quick break. When we come back, we will delve into policy, but this time, not on the diaspora policy. We may touch on it just a little bit, but now we get to the meat of the contribution that my guest, Agyei Yeboah, is bringing to Mother Ghana. Stay tuned.
Lock on Hello Entertainment Box.
Hello Entertainment Box. Hello Entertainment Box.
Hello Entertainment Box.
Hello Entertainment Box.
Every weekday at 12 and 5 p.m., DNT Newsroom brings you the most topical, fact-based, and up-to-date news from Ghana and around the world.
Politics, business, sports, and news from the diaspora, all covered in this comprehensive news update.
If it matters, DNT Newsroom will have it covered.
DNT News, be informed.
Hello and welcome back to Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah. I'm joined by Agyei Yeboah, CEO of Student Loan Trust Fund. And before we left, we're talking about policy and the contributions of members of a diaspora to. At some point, when you get to the United States, there's something that you pick up that you feel like Ghana needs. For you, what was that?
Education is one.
Okay.
And you see, I'd always seen in Anado, even when he was a candidate, that he had a boldness of the likes of JFK. Okay. So how JFK led Americans to go to the moon. Okay. Nanado, for the first term, he took that bold step to bring high school education, free SHS. That is going to be the foundation for the industrialization of this country. Okay. So it's in line with my expectations for the country, and it made me feel gratified that I supported him and the work that we did for him.
So, if I hear you correctly, you had made a decision to come home, a question of when. So, Nanado's candidacy and what he stood for, I'm hearing that that's what propelled you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So, what was it about him?
Okay. You see, I've been following him for a long time, and also my belief in the MPP's manifesto, MPP's ideology. Okay. And with Nanado's leadership, okay. Let's say with 2012, we put in a whole lot to support him. When that didn't pan out, okay, it became almost like a crusade that we need to salvage Ghana. Okay, so we did everything that we can to support him to win. And when he won 2016, okay, with me, it would have been almost hypocritical to stay back.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
To stay back because I believed in him. I believe in what he had in store for the country.
Okay.
So when we won 2016, I needed to come and be part of the history.
What was the conversation like when you told your family that you're leaving to come? Because your kids are young.
It wasn't easy.
It's probably still not easy.
It's still not easy.
Wow.
It's still not easy, but I had, and you see, being the chairman of MPP USA was a lot of sacrifice and a lot of, burden, on your family.
On your family, yeah.
You are traveling around. US is a big country, going everywhere, participating in activities and all that. But my family had been supportive. They know I like politics, and they are willing to support even the kids.
Yeah.
They know about Nanado and MPP and all that. Okay, but when the time came that I had to relocate back to Ghana, it wasn't easy, and it's not even easy now.
Yeah.
But it's also their belief in like sacrificing something.
Right.
For the
Okay,
cause.
so now you came back and you were appointed CEO of Student Loan Trust Fund. What's it been like? Do you feel that now you help bring the government into power and now you're part of a very important policy at that? Student Loan Trust Fund. What's it like? What's been the good times and not so great times?
Yeah. Student Loan Trust Fund is a very big endeavor.
Yeah.
It's a difficult, position because, I believe that, and living in the U.S., I see how, like student loan and student financing is a huge part of the free SHS system that we have in the U.S. Okay, I believe the free SHS that Nana has implemented, if it needs a pillar like student loan to make it successful.
Yeah, and so my thing is, you see, people talk about petroleum commission, this. What you are holding, I don't think people realize. Look, if this free SHS ends up bringing 500,000 new students into the doorstep of college, you are responsible for getting them there. And the interesting thing is, before free SHS, you already had a burden of people needing money. Now, the people who went to SHS for free, they don't have the money. So how do you prepare for such an avalanche?
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like policyholders and we were talking about expansion. People look at expansion in terms of physical infrastructure, building more schools, colleges, dormitories, this and that. But you see, but the good thing is that Nana understands what's happening.
Okay.
Nana understands that, he cannot, empower this whole group of, citizens and leave them in the lurch.
Okay.
Okay. So we see that there's it's not an easy endeavor. 2020, 2021, and it's right.
It's right there.
It's right
because see, if I'm a youngster, I'm selling groundnuts. Hey, my parents, sometimes I don't even know my parents. So high school, I've written them out. I'm just gonna take chance in life, whatever happens. But now when you take me to school, SHS, now you've planted something in my head. I got to move on. Somebody, in fact, a mutual friend of ours, the Deputy Minister of Education, he sat right there on this chair and said that he quoted me a figure and I was amazed. He said there was a term called GTER, Gross Tertiary Enrollment Ratio. Ghana is 16% of that age group.
Yeah.
Only 16% of Ghanaians in that age group has enrolled in tertiary education. And we're the second highest to South Africa, which is 19. In contrast, Korea is like 93%. And so if we're going to move from 16% higher, they're going to need money from you.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No. we are not ready, but we are putting systems in place.
Okay.
In readiness, for that.
Okay.
You see, and that's why we are trying to sensitize Ghanaians, okay, to know the importance of student loan.
Okay.
When I took over, I think student loan was at the totem on the pole. It was at the bottom end.
Okay.
Okay. People don't really see the importance of student loan.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's something that as a nation,
Yeah.
we need to do something about it.
So how do you attract more resources into it so that you can give to these kids?
Yeah, so the sensitization is part of it.
Okay.
That you hear MTN giving, let's say, 100 scholarships here, GMPC giving scholarship there, Cocoa Board. Okay, but scholarships are good, but it's not sustainable.
Yes.
Okay, it's not sustainable. Let's say if you give scholarship to, say 5 million scholarship to a number of students.
5 million Ghana cedis.
Yeah, 5 million Ghana cedis. Okay, to a number of students for say 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, the money is gone.
Gone, right.
Okay, the same 5 million, if it's invested in student loan,
Yes.
we can
Recycle
the money and give to more students.
Interesting.
More students. So my challenge is that we trying to sensitize stakeholders.
Yeah.
I had a courtesy call with a Dairy Graphic the other day, and we talked about that. I want to partner with like Dairy Graphic, with your outfit and others, to let Ghanaians know that student loan.
That's the next step.
The next step.
Yes. That's huge.
And we need to beef it up.
Okay. And so there are some from the demand side. I'm saying that, okay, so MTN wanted to give us let's use your number, 5 million in scholarship. That scholarship, if I'm a student, I qualify for that scholarship, I go to school, I don't have to pay back. But if MTN gives that money to you, and you turn around and give it to me as a student loan, I have to pay it back.
Yes.
And so the sensitization, I'm sure the students are not going to like your route.
Well, the students, we are doing, actually, we have the student leadership.
Okay.
At the beginning of the last semester, I had a summit with nooks, okay, so that the students understand where we are going.
Okay.
And they understand it. I mean, paying back is your I mean,
yeah. I wanted to
patriotic
ask
duty.
you that. Right.
It's your
What's the
patriotic
payback
duty.
ratio?
It's your patriotic duty to pay back.
Okay.
The payback ratio right now is about 62%.
That's impressive.
Yeah, but when I started, it was about 32.
Say what?
Yes.
So what did you do?
We put, like the systems I'm talking about, we set up platforms. Now students can pay with their phone. Okay. We have, we also send text messages to students, and we've declared the month of May as Recovery Month. We go to radio stations, we go to newspaper adverts and all that. Recently, we took a trip to the USA about diaspora recovery, trying to also educate Ghanaians who took the loan and they are outside.
Okay.
That where to go to pay. Other people like those outside, it's not that they don't want to pay, but they don't know
how to.
How to. We set a platform where people can now pay with their Visa or MasterCard.
Okay.
You know.
That's
Visa or MasterCard, and we are also doing. You know, we've put a lot more systems in place that is encouraging people to pay.
And you see, that's the thing that I particularly like about stuff that we learned from where you and I spent probably most of our lives. If you come to a place and the number is here, and 3 years later, in your case, the recovery rate was 30-something%. Now you're at 65. That's a heck of an improvement over 3 years. Now, what do you say about others who don't measure performance? They just sit there with a nice title and nobody knows what they do.
And I'll come to that, but there was the act that set us up.
Okay.
Also gave us the option to, as a matter of fact, publish names
of those who are the delinquent ones.
Yes.
Okay.
And it had never been implemented.
When you came, it had never been done.
No,
but you've done it.
I did it.
When was the last time you?
I think in September.
September.
Yeah, it was in Daily Graphic.
Okay.
And the response, you see, it's like a scare.
Wow.
It scared the hell out of them.
Wow.
And people were calling down. Put my face out there.
Yeah. And well, you don't need to put your face there. Come pay up,
come
right?
pay up.
Good stuff.
So we are adopting what I call as aggressive recovery tactics.
Okay.
To recover more.
That's good, because the more money you bring in, the more you can give out. Too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, even if we recover at 100%,
you still not.
Yeah, the trend that we are going,
it's not going to be enough.
It's not going to.
Okay. We've been talking to Nana Agyei, CEO of Student Loan Trust Fund. We're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to dedicate the final segment to the future of Student Loan Trust Fund. Stay tuned.
My name is Novi.
The name is Phil.
Iman is the name.
Laugh
and learn.
What is the biggest animal in the world?
King Kong.
What's the meaning of the I in iPhone?
iTunes. What is Facebook? It's a book that you say to your face.
What is the last book of the Bible?
Methodist. Your father is a landlord. What will you be?
Land commission.
House owner.
Land rover.
What do we do at the grocery shop?
They play football.
Who is Santa Claus?
Teacher will check you.
Welcome back. This is Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah. We're joined by Nana Agyei, CEO of Student Loan Trust Fund. I think it's amazing the record that you've churned up, and I'm sure your target is to get to 100%. Have you set a target date where you're looking at 100% recovery. I don't think you can ever achieve 100%, can you?
No, even the banks.
The banks can do.
Yeah,
All right.
but we have optimistic targets.
Okay. So what's the future of student loan? What do you see ahead? Because I read in the newspapers recently where you were projecting, and the numbers, how do you bring funds in to make sure the avalanche of people coming in, you're going to have enough money for them?
Okay. You see, it's a national project. Okay, it's not just for student loan. Okay, so we are anticipating government of Ghana support. Okay, but currently, even our sources of funding, the Act stipulates that about up to 10% of all the inflows into Get Fund should have come to fund the student loan.
Okay.
Okay, but in reality,
really?
No, I mean it's up to, it's discretionary.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course, up
yeah,
to. Okay.
Up to. Okay. So we are pushing that maybe they give us a cap. Let's say if 5% comes to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of up to.
Up to 10% can be 1%.
Yeah, or zero.
Currently, how much are you?
around 3%.
3% of
yes,
Get Fund.
Yes.
Now, if it's 3% and you're able to do that, when they double that, I mean, you know your numbers. I'm sure that'll put you in a position of.
And we get 1% of telecommunication tax.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Then our own recovery.
Okay. What about private funding?
Private funding.
In other words, private funds into the student loan system.
Yes, is something that we are exploring.
Okay.
The Act gives us the leverage to do that.
Yeah,
okay. So we are exploring.
Can I be your consultant? I'm just kidding.
But the thing is, people look at your numbers, your recovery figures, and all that. And I think smart investors will see where student loan is going.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be huge.
Yeah. I wonder what the bank's recovery rate is, because if your recovery rate is higher than the bank's, I would say that if I'm putting my money in student loan, my recovery rate is higher than the bank's. Why not put my money there?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing I've always wanted to ask is, SNIT, they take people's contribution, they invest them so that they'll be able to get them the money when they pay. Does the Act that you work with, does it allow you to invest the money to kind of multiply it?
Okay, historically, SNIT used to manage what is now student loan.
Okay.
Then it took itself out because it wanted to focus on investments and others. So student loan, as we know it, started from 2005.
Okay.
When, with the Act of Parliament and all that. Okay, so SNIT doesn't invest our funds, for us.
No, I'm saying that SNIT invests retirement funds. But has Student Loan Trust Fund considered does your Act allow you to invest so that if government gives you 100 cities, maybe you can invest it to make it 150, so that you have more to give?
Oh yeah, investment, yes. The Act, like if you have excess money, we can invest some.
Okay.
But if you are expecting up to 10% and you are getting 3%, there's not much there to.
That's something.
Yeah, to invest.
Oh, I mean, you talking about the excess money.
Yeah.
But do you even realize any excess money? I would imagine that the money is not enough even for
those. That's what I'm saying. the money is not enough to pay.
Yeah.
We try to pay.
Okay.
But we don't have excess liquidity.
Okay. So then let me ask you this: if you take in 100 cities in a year. Do you pay all that out, or does it at a certain point you say, wait, we have money. Where are the people coming up to get loans? Do you get surplus or?
Oh, that well, not since I've been there. I mean,
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
So
I mean,
everything you get in, you pay
goes,
out.
yeah.
So it stands to reason that you might have done some aggressive marketing to let people know that, hey, there's money here, come get it for college.
Yeah, I mean, I mean the we have two groups of students looking for loans. We have the continuing students. That's ongoing. Okay, and we have freshers. You know, when school reopens, new students, you know, come in and apply.
Okay.
Then we try to, you know, pay all of them.
Okay.
And we're talking about currently about 30-something thousand students.
30-something thousand students.
Yeah,
If that number doubles, you're in trouble. Are they?
Yeah.
Have you encountered a situation now where you have more applicants than you have money to give them?
More applicants than we have. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, but what happens is that we don't pay all at one time. Okay. So let's say at one point we can have, say, 5,000 students, and we don't have money to pay the whole 5,000. We pay as we go.
Okay.
So I mean, every week, you know, we pay some.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, what you're doing is really, really important. And so the final few minutes, let's talk about the structure of your outfit. The work ethics that you brought from the United States. I'm sure you came back and found that, whoa, what's going on? Are you facing any challenges there?
Yeah, when I first came.
Okay.
When I first came, you know, I had to work on work ethics.
Okay.
You know, lateness to work, and even, you know, that teamwork.
Okay.
You know, people wanted to work in silos and all that.
Yeah.
You know, so
turf wars.
Turf wars. We brought our experience onto bear.
Okay.
And also the fact is that like the way we were trained in US, you know, you don't come across as bossy.
Yeah. You work with people. Yeah.
You are free with staff.
Your staff.
You talk to them.
Do you have offices throughout all regions?
We have offices in all the major universities. We have 14 zonal offices.
Okay, so they're in the universities, not
Yeah.
necessarily
in the
regions.
universities.
Okay. And I think a while back I saw you touring the whole country.
Yeah.
And you went there. What was the experience like?
The experience was, I had a good experience.
Okay.
I was able to interact with the students and hear, you know, first-hand information.
Okay.
But I also had some, like, cultural shock when I first came. That there were students in Ghana, they think student loan is for poor people. And I was
it's
like,
for poor people.
So
That's a good.
I was telling them that
student loans for everybody.
it's for everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
So we have a final minute. If you can look in this camera and tell them, viewers, what is there to know about Student Loan Trust Fund that they don't know?
Okay. The Student Loan Trust Fund, like I'm saying, there were some stereotypes that people had about student loan. For example, that people had perception that it was for poor people. So some students were shying away from that. We've worked on that perception.
Okay.
That even in advanced countries like US and others, students depend on student loans, you know, for their education. Plus, if you are poor and you're working to get out of poverty, it's something that must be applauded.
And you're a brave man. If I were in your position, and I see all these avalanche coming, and I know I'm not going to have enough money for them, and people already think that, oh, student loans for people, so I'm not going to go. I'll keep my mouth shut. Stay there, let the poor people come and get it.
Yeah. But one thing also is that, you see what Nana has done? He increased the student loan by 50%.
By 50%?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, so now people can get as in a maximum of 3,000 cedis.
Wow.
Okay, so it has made it
a year.
Yes, it has made it attractive. So those who are running away, that is a poor man's thing, are now rushing to get it.
Very good,
Okay.
very good.
But the irony of the situation is that if you think student loan is for poor man is poor intervention program, so you are shying away from it. But then you go to use NHIS.
There you go. Okay. Nana, thank you so much for making time to join us at Diaspora Weekly. This has been a great learning experience, and my parting word is this. If you ever thought that the free SHS was just a campaign gimmick, a political gimmick, we just learned a minute ago that not only is this government putting money to educate people for free, it has actually increased the student loan trust fund, the size of it, the budget, by about 50%. If nothing tells you that the new era in this country is that of a seriousness on education, I don't think anything else can convince you otherwise. We thank you for watching. This has been a nice edition of Diaspora Weekly. My name is Jermaine Nkrumah, and you've been listening to me and Nana Agyei, Yeboah, Chief Executive of Student Loan Trust Fund. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of our shows, and we'll catch you next week.